And look at what we found. A little bit extra catnip. We got the last of it. It's all gone already. It's only like the second week of April, so I got it as quick as I could. This has done nothing. It's trying. But since I walked away, it got cold again, and I decided to dig out as much wood as I could outside in the ground. And this is like muddy dirty. There's some pieces outside drying, pieces that I could find. Some have mold on them and they're drying up pretty nicely. They were like really decomposing into the ground already, but I want to burn them. I don't want them to go to waste. The thing that was a huge mistake is I left some of these pieces in the house overnight instead of leaving them outside to dry in the sun. And it released a mass of ants. So there were ants in, I think, this log, and the whole floor had tiny little ants crawling around everywhere. I don't know where they went. They went somewhere in the house, somewhere in the walls, which is kind of disturbing. But I'm going to burn this up now that the ants are gone. And yeah, that was my huge flub up. Not my greatest achievement in life, but I know better. I shouldn't have done it. I don't know what I was thinking. But I have to clean this up, and I'm gonna burn some of the last remnants of wood that I could find. Right over here, and yeah, just try to get this all burnt up in the next few weeks because we have a few more really cold days coming. When is it going to stop? I don't know. The thing is, we have so much around the yard that's branches that are fallen, and I have no way to cut them. I have a chainsaw that is just too big to cut these smaller branches. They're about the size of this, thickness of that, and I need something to cut them without doing a hand saw. I can do that as well. It's just really time consuming, and I have so much that I could burn. I need to get rid of it anyway, so that is my next goal. This has had its day. Woo! That's not the safest moment. That got a little bit dusty. Yeah, time to change this filter. These are the ones I'm using. I get these on Amazon. I have them on an auto subscription, so it costs a little bit less. I get 2 at a time, and then that little light goes on the top here and tells me when it needs to be changed out. You can clean the edges. You can vacuum this and clean it and have it extended a little bit longer, but I had already done that, so it's about time. I don't know if you can see all this gross dust. Oh yeah. And it really cleans out the air in here. My cat has some type of upper respiratory disease or infection, so it's like a permanent thing she has, so I have to keep the air as clean as possible, the floors clean, things like that, so she doesn't have that extra dust. Oh yeah, look at that. So nice and clean. So you can see difference. It really does do an amazing job at cleaning these out. I hope you can see right through how nice and clean the new one is and how kind of grody the old one is. And to get that light to go off, I think I have to hold down the sleep button to reset it. Yes, nice. So it's now reset to go back to the beginning until I need a new filter. Now we have this all set for spring clean. On to the next project. This is my area for my cat. And I got a lot of extra cat food because we were concerned about what would happen with the tariffs and the costs. The cost for this cat food has gone up just outrageously. It's absolutely insane. It wasn't because of the tariffs, it was already just going up and up and up. I do a Chewy shipment, so I order everything in bulk every season basically, and the costs are a bit out of control. It makes me a little bit stressed. I wanted to have a lot more animals. I wanted to have a dog in our home, but the cost to take care of one cat has just gone up so ridiculous. I can't even. So let's organize her cans here. I'm going to order some more for the summer season. Probably 3 of these packs. Whoa, that's a bit of a wobble. These are her favorite at the moment. She also really loves these Tiki Cat Crunchers. I got those on super discount. Look at the cost I paid for the whole box. There's 6 packages. I paid $2.49. How is that even possible? And that was at TJ Maxx, so I'm gonna try to find some more. They're very good. She really likes those. This is entirely my fault. I held on to these for a season. I love to keep them throughout the winter. It is now the spring. I usually cut them open during the winter and leave the seeds out for the squirrels and animals. And I've got something gross happening here. I forgot about them. They were in a corner, and something pretty nasty happened here that's like stuck with this. This is entirely my fault. So I'm gonna put this in the compost. This one I can open and give the seeds to the animals. This one's still okay, but the other 3 right here, it's like, I don't know, it is like an alien experiment happening over here. I'm sorry if this grosses you out. I loved this double pumpkin so much. It was such a unique find, and I think I just didn't want to get rid of it. I had no idea it was merging into an alien creature. I think there's a couple good seeds inside of there still. I don't know if you can see that this rhododendron bush has grown so much since the winter. I was showing you this berry bush during the winter time and it was covered in snow. Now it has these really lovely flowers. It's been a dry winter, so a lot of things died and really are struggling with the blooming, but we're having a lot of wet weather and rain, so things are starting to bloom. It's kind of strange. It's almost like it's struggling, but then some of them have popped up. But this went really wild and grew. I don't know if you can see how big it is. I'm gonna try to put the camera down and walk up to it and see if you can see compared to my size. This is what I mean. A lot of the plants dried out. This hasn't happened in a long time. It's really sad. From the winter, that was really sad, but a lot of the other underneath had bloomed really well. So we have some dying plants in the back from being dehydrated, and then these new blooms right in front. This is a new fall that just happened. So we're going to have to get that cleaned up. It's really high up there. Here is another one that struggled because of the dehydration, not having enough water, and some bits pushed through and created these beautiful orange blooms. I wish the whole entire tree this year was able to bloom the orange bits, but then we have a little pine here that's just so happy. We have a lot of pine trees. I can't believe I didn't see that. It's almost disguised by some of the vines going down with it. But when the spring comes and we can see everything that's on the ground that broke and everything that fell down during a storm. Yeah, a lot of cleanup needs to be done. It looks really wild in here, like Jurassic Park is happening in this little forest area. Now I have a little bit of a project. Do you ever get any of these little kits from people? They're like little gifties that have a pollinator in them or some type of wildflower or something. And I've had several of these and just let them do their thing outside. This time I decided to actually plant one. They're so cute. They're usually at the dollar store or I don't know, like Five Below. Give them to people as gifts. Yeah, the instructions are really ridiculous. They're just too simple, and it doesn't really tell you what to do with this, which is soil. I think you're supposed to soak the soil and let it grow, like it kind of like expands, and then you put in the seeds, but it doesn't tell you to do that. It just says to add the seeds from the packet, water every few days, and watch your seedlings sprout in 2 to 3 weeks. And then you put outside in fertile soil and let it go to its full potential. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to soak this in water though. This is biodegradable, so it can be put in the ground once anything grows, and then they give you this, which is cute, but it says nothing, so I don't know. This is kind of dirty, but I'm like thinking soil's gonna go into it anyway, and I thought that would fit perfectly. I also have another one that's really just lovely. I think maybe when it expands, we'll put it in there. So we're gonna start with this thing because, I don't know, I'm gonna just put this little soil tablet. We're gonna add some water. Anything happen? I'm gonna leave that for a few moments and come back to it. About 10-15 minutes, and it's a bit of a hard mush. Not really getting anywhere with this. Put it in there anyway and add some of my own soil, just a little. Okay, I was expecting several seeds, but there were about 4. A little bit too much water accidentally. We're gonna check on this in 2 to 3 weeks, see if anything's happening. There is one really important delivery that I got today. I've been waiting for this. It is a mulberry tree. I think it's an Illinois blackberry or redberry mulberry tree. They are not illegal. I've had a lot of comments about this from several farms that I've asked about, and I checked, they are not illegal. It's the white mulberry that's illegal in 2 states because it's an invasive species. The one that we used to have had been destroyed during a storm, and it was really large. It was beautiful and created a lot of fruit, and I'm looking to replace that. And what I could find, oh, this is interesting. Nice, interesting packaging from this farm. Oh gosh, very official. Oh Lord, what in the world is their packaging? Oh my goodness, I'm nervous. What I could find online for the area that I'm in New England, I could get a red mulberry, which I used to have. It was beautiful, it was really large, really tall. And there's so many different species, and I really wanted to replace that. The one that I found similar is this Illinois one. I'm not too sure about how they shipped this. It seems very messy and scary. I could have snapped, I think the edge of this is right here. Could have snapped that. And they provided some instructions. So we're gonna try to plant this into a proper pot. So let's start with unwrapping very carefully. This is on average what a lot of people said they received. I can see some green right there, so that's good. It's not dead. And they wrote down Illinois mulberry. The only complaint I really have is the packing. I think it should be inside of a safer packing system, probably styrofoam. I'm not a big fan of styrofoam. I understand that some people don't like it, but we're shipping something that is a fruit tree and it needs to be taken really into consideration. This system was really difficult to undo without cutting the stem. That's just this like a tiny, tiny stick. We're gonna bring her to a space that is in shade. It says to keep the soil moist and in a mostly shady area for a minimum of 2 weeks, longer if needed. I thought I was going to have to keep her indoors all year until she got bigger. I mean, she just looks really, really tiny. So they said it grows really fast. I'm not really sure. I've never replanted a mulberry. The tree that we had is so old, and it was so sad to see it go. So this is going to be a new era of this mulberry tree. Looks just like a mulberry stick. We're gonna bring it into a nice spot and get the soil like super moist. Gave her a little bit more soil, and this is an indirect sun spot. I hope this is going to be good enough. I've never done this before. If anyone has any advice, or if they're like, you're doing this wrong, I'd love to know any information. And yeah, this is the first time I planted my own tree And I put it up here because I'm afraid my cat will try to dig the soil. In this case, she won't bother with it because it's away from the ground.